Hey, welcome to another edition of the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Steve Zautke. Joining us is the president of the Harry Miller Club, Tedd Zamjahn. Ted, welcome to the show.
Nice to see you, Steve.
Appreciate it. This year at the historic Milwaukee Mile, people go, "What's going on with the Milwaukee Mile?" There is racing at the Milwaukee Mile, and there's also vintage events too. This is probably the premier vintage oval event in the country. Is at the Milwaukee Mile, July 7th and 8th at the Milwaukee Mile. We get from anywhere from 45 to 60 of some of the best front engine championship cars that you can see, from the Harry Miller cars, the board track era, of the 20s, even what we call the brass era, the pre-war cars, the big Ray Haroon type, if you want to say, cars, and then into the 30s, 40s, and then into all the way up to the roadsters of the 1960s, those iconic, sleek hot rods of the early 1960s. And Ted, kind of walk us through the Harry Miller Club and the status of it and what's going on.
Well, this year we're trying to expand a little bit and try to get a little different group. We love the guys, of course, but as people are getting older, we're losing a few members, and we had second best year we had last year. We had 51 cars. We've had 60, as you know, but we were real happy with that. But we opened it up this year to open wheel Grand Prix cars, pre-war open wheel Grand Prix cars. Hoping to get maybe a couple Bugattis. We could get a Maserati. Well, there wouldn't be a Ferrari, but an Alfa Romeo.
Sure.
I always kid and say we'd make an exception for a rear engine car if you bring your auto union.
There we go.
And most of the club members, especially the board, I would take up an auto union in a heartbeat. So we'll see what happens. So far, the response has been a little light, but our last newsletter just went out. I received mine Wednesday, so I'll start making some phone calls next week to see if we can drum up a little more activity, and mainly for our members. As you know, the spectators, yes, but our members, we like to give them something different.
Exactly.
This year we will have a silent auction at our Friday night dinner. We'll have the Thursday night barbecue and then the Friday dinner, because we're on the track Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And what's nice about it, it is a Friday, Saturday event for those wondering. And what's nice about it is it's a way to see the cars up close. There's no pit passes or closed pits. You can't go there, can't go there. It's a nice way to see these cars up close, talk to the owners, and get the history on it. These cars are not only works of art, they're beautiful, but some of the stories behind them are just incredible.
And the drivers and the owners love to share the stories. And the few that are two-man cars, you see an awful lot of spectators. Really? I can go for a ride? And there's not everybody offers that, but
right.
But there are people, as you know, that take people out for a ride, because we have fast sessions and slow sessions. And in the slow, a helmet is not required. It's nice, but it's not required. And we keep the speeds down, and knock on wood, in 26 years we've never had an on-track incident, and hope to keep it that way.
And for those who may be coming to the event from out of state or that, they do serve bratwurst at lunchtime. So if you want to get a bratwurst at the Milwaukee Mile, this is your chance to do it. But
I always do. Usually two.
But a lot of the members that come out to the event, they love it because it offers the most track time they can get.
Absolutely. By Saturday afternoon, the drivers are old, the cars are old, and you can tell it's less and less. They get more time, than they do anywhere else. Mm-hmm. So it's a real value, and it's a good exercise for everybody, and enjoyable, very enjoyable.
It certainly is, and like I said, it's a good way to see these cars up close. Kind of cars that were driven like drivers like AJ Foyt, Parnelli Jones, and just it's a really neat event, and it's a good price too.
Yeah, what is the ticket? $20,
$25
for 2 days.
And it's good. Yes, it's good for both days. Right. So if you get there maybe a little late, you have to travel a little bit on a Friday.
Come back on Saturday
and see the cars.
We run from 10 until 4.
10 until 4. If you go to the harrymillerclub.com, we do have a hotel that we're working with for
what's it called now? The Sonesta?
Sonesta, I think.
It was the old Crown Plaza. It's the same owners on the corner of Watertown Plank Road and Highway 100.
But feel free to go to harrymillerclub.com for all the information, and plus we have a lot of the old newsletters there. And if you can't make it this year, you can certainly sign up and be a member.
Absolutely, it's $40 to join. After you're a member for 10 years, it's $25. And it's a nice newsletter. You learn a lot. There's some great stories in there. You always have one.
Harold Peters.
We've got him writing now for the magazine.
Harold is, I consider, one of the premier pre-war historians in motorsports. Is really knows this pre-World War I stuff, and as well as into the 20s. So love reading Harold's work.
His history on the Miller Club, on Harry Miller, I think is second to none. I mean, he is amazing. And he had that beautiful Isata Fushini. That little,
yes.
I think he sold that recently, but he was.
I saw him buy that live on TV,
okay.
so I know that guy. But we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your busy day.
Happy to.
And come on out to July
7th and 8th
at the historic Milwaukee Mile for the Harry Miller Club Vintage IndyCar Meet. We'd love to have you down and come and say hi to everybody and see some great cars on the track, not in a museum. We love museums. We're in a museum right now. But these are cars you can see driven at a decent speed, respectable speed, on one of the most historic racetracks in the world. Absolutely. That's the Milwaukee Mile. Thanks for listening to the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Steve Zautke.
Tedd Zamjahn, and thank you, Steve.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and we'll have more coming up on the next episode.